Yo, it's all about the journey. We got the one and only Moxy today on the episode today. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, Brody?
We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about it all today, man. You got a lot of things going on.
Yes, sir.
A lot of big things going on. We want to talk about, family, kids, Loud Gallery, the art gallery, ATM, Quickbux, everything. But before we get started, let's just break the ice real quick. Where you originally from?
I'm from New York.
What part?
I'm from Queens.
Okay.
Yeah, exit 13. Born and raised. Moved to Florida a little bit after high school. So I spent a couple years in Orlando.
What year would you say you got down to Florida?
Man, I can't even call it. Probably like 2006 or 7.
Yeah, a lot of migration. Of migration around that time. What was the move? What made you say, yo, let's make the move?
Personal, you know what I mean? A lot of people that I was associated with were just involved with a lot of different things that didn't kind of fit my future,
Figured.
So I made a change, and I'm here now.
Hey, that's good. So when you got down to Florida, how'd you get how'd you get acclimated out here, man? I know it was different from New York because everybody was going through that adjustment. What was your adjustment?
Well, what I noticed with Florida, it's what you make it. A lot of people complain that it's slow,
Right.
But I think whatever pace you want it to be, it will be, So with Orlando, I kind of approached it with a up north mentality. So as soon as I came out here, I started a clothing line.
What was the name
called
of that?
Ink Royale.
Ink Royale?
Yeah, a lot of my people who've been following my journey know that was like the Mecca of me becoming an entrepreneur. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So we did that and venture with Ink Royale, selling shoes, sneakers out the car, just to kind of get my feet wet,
Right.
But yeah, that all started when I first originally moved out here.
Okay, then. Before we get into let's talk about the family.
Right.
More about your, mother, siblings, and all that. How many people in the family?
I got a lot of people in the family. I probably got like 8 brothers and sisters.
I got a big one too,
yeah,
dog.
But for my mother, it's my twin sister, my little sister.
Okay, then.
And my mother, she's a serial entrepreneur just like me.
Okay.
So
I heard a little bit about her, man.
She's my OG. A lot of people, they look to try to find mentors. My mentor has been with me for 35 years, you know what I mean? So she assisted me with, the trials and tribulations and, learning how to get through it or go through it,
Let's briefly talk about Mom, because I heard Mom, I watched the interview. Mom's a hustler. What she got going on real quick?
Yeah, so my mother, she owns 3 salons, one in Altamont, one in Fashion Square Mall, and one in Metro West.
And what's the name of that?
Hair in Motion of New York. Yeah.
Shout out to Hair Emotions of New
shout
York.
out to Mom and Love.
Mom Dukes, you doing your thing. Raised a great son. 3 stores. Anything else she do?
She actually has a school, an accredited school.
An accredited school?
Yeah, that'll teach others how to do nails, cosmetology, hair, makeup. So she right now, I think she graduated about 30, 40 students.
Ooh.
Yeah, so she's killing it, man.
That's where you get it from?
I definitely get it from her. My father wasn't around, so she was, mommy and daddy.
Okay.
But she spent most of her time at work from 9 to probably like 11 o'clock at night. So a lot of the stuff I was getting into was because the fact that she was never home. You know what I mean? But on the back end, she wasn't home because she was grinding and establishing her name and her brand. And, years down the line, I'm over here doing the same thing, but trying to balance it between family and business.
Yeah, and that's a thin line, man. But shout out to Moms. She, very bright woman. She raised a king.
I appreciate that.
Now, your kids and your immediate family.
Yeah.
How many you got?
I got 4 kids.
4. What's the ages?
17, 14, 12, and 7.
You
sometimes you got to think about it.
You got a whole vibe at the house. You don't know who's going through what stage, what teenager going through what stage. The oldest one, I think I seen the oldest one on your social media. He looks like he's really involved with what you got going on. Actually, all of them.
Yeah, they're all involved. They all have their specific roles. I try not to overwhelm them with things to do. I don't want them to hate being an entrepreneur. I just want them to know that it's an option. Because in school, they're not teaching them how to start a business, how to build credit. They're teaching them what they need to know to a certain extent to become workers for other individuals. And I'm not hating on the system, but sometimes you have to add, some seasoning
Right.
to the formula. You know what I mean? To the ingredients.
So I got a question for you. The fact that you want to give your kids all the knowledge that they need to excel, what's that fine line of, okay, I'm teaching them a lot, but let me make sure they do what they want to do.
Right.
Find out what they like in life because they might want to go down a different lane. What's that balance that you be like, okay, I want you to know about this, that, and the third. But if this is what you want to do, just make sure, what I'm saying? What's that balance? How do you, I know they're still young, they're still growing.
Of course.
So, but what's that balance?
Honestly, the way to get around that is by listening. You know what I mean? And
gotta listen to the kids.
Yeah, what I've learned with having kids is that you got to be a great listener because they all have their own personality. You know what I mean? And a lot of times they may not want to, load a machine. They may just want to play Fortnite. You know what I mean? You can't force them to be someone who you want them to be. You know what I mean? If they show interest, then I involve them, and I know how to do it to a certain extent to where it doesn't saturate their minds like, Dad, this is way too much. If anything, I'm like, listen, I'm going to load, who wants to come with me today? That's how I'll approach it.
You kind of make sure to see
exactly
what they do. Okay, yeah.
Who's going after the bait? And then I say, all right, if he wants to do it, then I'm going to put more information. I'm going to give him more information so he understands the behind the scenes. But if they want to go up to be doctors and lawyers, they can. But they're going to have the option of doing something that their father built from the ground up for them.
If it ever happens to them.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's that's all about generational wealth, making sure your kids have something to fall back
Security,
on. You got to start making, as parents, you got to start, I'm not a parent yet, but you got to start making the plays that's going to last forever.
I agree.
But that's great, man. You had to talk about the family thing. Let's get into some more of your other ventures. You started Loud Hookah.
Yeah, Loud Hookah Lounge. So
what year was that?
Man, what are we in 2021?
Yeah.
I think 7 years ago. Okay. 7 years ago. Me and my brother-in-law actually partnered up because I smoke hookah. You know what I mean? I'm a hookah. What would you call it? Enthusiast. Okay. You know what I mean?
You like hookah? Yeah,
I like hookah. So when we initially did it, we brought the idea to certain people in the nightlife, and a lot of them didn't really gravitate towards it, especially because we're new on the scene. So I said, like the only other way to do it is to disrupt the market, and by doing it ourselves. Not
to cut you off, but when you did hookah, I felt like they were like, it wasn't out there like it is now.
It wasn't.
Like, I felt like if you would have did it like a year or two ago or 3-4 years, like it's like you need some girls don't even want to go out if they don't have hookah. I'm like, yo,
listen,
what? Like,
and it's so funny that you say that is because when we did Loud Hookah Lounge, some people didn't really understand what it was. You know what I mean? And I mean, the space was 500 square feet. We converted an entire antique shop into a hookah lounge, customized benches, a small bar. Like, we literally built that from the ground up. And, if anyone was to ask me, what was my biggest moment in like entrepreneurial journey would be the opening, my first brick and mortar location, which was Loud Hookah Lounge, because that really taught me the do's and don'ts about business. Right. And I mean, we had everyone and their mother at the hookah lounge. And it wasn't just a hookah lounge, it was a space for creatives, and we did events. So that's what set us apart. Not just only being one of the only black hookah lounges, but being one of the only hookah lounges at the time. Like right now, they're everywhere. But 7 years ago, there was like 5 or 6 that you can call on.
I swear, it was like, I'm like, yo, I remember when he had it, but it seems like it's actually bigger now than it was when you had it.
When we had it,
You've seen the vision on that one, obviously. And then shortly after that, not shortly after that, I mean, the hookah lounge, you ended up changing it into
a nightclub.
And what was that called?
Loud Gallery.
Loud Gallery.
Right. So
Loud Hookah to Loud Gallery.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, and what triggered that? I'm gonna be honest with you, because we were running the business at Loud Hookah Lounge, but there was a lot of things that we didn't understand on the back end. So when it came time to cancel the lease, we said, you know what, it's growing so fast, we need a bigger space, right? And us not understanding business didn't try to scale it. We just said, let's jump out the window. There was a space available, 5,000 square feet. The owners were stepping down. They needed someone to take over. So we came. It came with a liquor license and everything, and we called it Loud Gallery, right? So this space was 5,000 square feet downtown, and we did that for about 6 months, converted it. It was really ratchet at the time, but we converted it into something grown and sexy, and it did what it did, you know what I mean? But would I do a nightclub again? I wouldn't, honestly. It just takes up too much time. And I'm a father, you know what I mean? Right. So it's not time that I can just give away like that, but it was a fun run while it lasted. But yeah, man, that led us to the art gallery, you know?
And then after that, it became the art gallery. Yeah. Now, before you made it an art gallery, let's just talk about the love for art. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you had a love for art and painting before you said, let's make it an art gallery. What was that thought process before that?
Well, to go back into where it started, so with Loud Hookah Lounge, we used to do art shows. Our first art show was at Loud Hookah Lounge.
So you did the art show as in the hookah lounge?
Yeah. Oh, okay. And that's what set us apart, because we were doing open mics, we were doing art shows, we were doing sipping paints. I mean, we were treating that space as a hub, and that led me to Loud Gallery now that I did with my two partners, my best friend. They're both my best friend, but my best friend and my brother-in-law. And
shout them out.
Yeah, of course. Carl Hart, Ron the Don, my brothers, I love y'all.
Okay, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all making moves out here too, man.
So, those guys came with me to do the art gallery in Ivanhoe Village. And, we were skeptical because Ivanhoe Village, it's not a lot of minorities in that area. So we had to, take it on a whole nother level. This wasn't a hookah lounge. This wasn't a nightclub. We had to literally treat it as a gallery/event space. Again, going into an area that we've never been before. We're used to doing events, but we've never solely had an
and this
art
is at
gallery.
the $5,000, $5
No,
square foot?
Yeah, so no, after the 5,000 square feet space, we shut it down, and it took us about a year and a half to find the space, what we would call now Loud Gallery.
See, people don't understand that.
Yeah.
A year and a half just to find a space, it ain't easy.
Yeah, so, but between those times, we did an art tour. We went to Atlanta, LA, New York, Soho. So we were still involved in the community, but people were still wanting a space. So we found a beautiful space off of Ivanhoe Village. Shout out to the owners of White Wolf Cafe. Those are the landlords. Very, very cool people. So we did the art gallery over there, and 3 years later, we've been running it for 3 years. I mean, 3 years even sounds crazy to me.
And with that, y'all the first black art museum in the city.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that, again, we're venturing into a world that that many don't do. You know what I mean? A lot of people may have bars, nightclubs, but there's a handful of people that I know personally that actually owns an art gallery or an event space. Right. So it's creating a hub for individuals, but also showing people that it can be done.
And what's your? But it's growing.
Yeah,
it's getting bigger. I think that's just the ambiance that the city needs, man.
Right.
Art, man, because people don't understand, man. You can buy some art; it can gain value over years. You can give it to your kids.
For sure.
That's another part of generational wealth. This man's preaching nothing but generational wealth.
Right.
So you actually had. Let's get into one of your other ventures real quick. I know I went to one of your events last year, Superfest.
Right.
I felt like it was like an Orlando Rolling Loud in the making.
Right.
With the location, all the artists, what went into that?
So,
because I know you did a lot of planning with that one, and talk about how long it took you to come put that together, all the moving parts, because that was a big event. You had vendors and all, and artists.
Yeah, it was a lot. I'm not gonna lie, like that to me was probably one of the hardest things we had to do, but we were able to do it, especially with the team that we had assisting us. We obviously we're at the forefront. So when people see Super, they see me and my partners. But all the people behind the scenes, that handle the vendors, the stage management, the artist management. So a lot went into it, and none of that would have been possible without the team that we have. But the festival itself. It was the first.
How many people was besides
team-wise?
Yeah, to put all that together.
Probably like a good 10, and that doesn't even seem like a lot. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be real with you. I like to in-house everything.
Right.
So even if you don't know how to do it, we're gonna teach you how to do it.
Right.
So now you become an asset. You know what I mean? So now if you're not doing it with us, you can bring the knowledge that you gained working with us somewhere else. But the festival was primarily for the city, primarily for the independent artists, the first indie music festival in Central Florida. It went very well.
Liked it.
There was a lot of long nights, early mornings that went into it. But again, that's just a part of being an entrepreneur and chasing your dream,
Because you had that thing lasted all day. How many artists you said you would have had that day? Because I went.
We had 50 artists.
50.
Yeah, 50 artists. And, when you're dealing with artists, you're dealing with personalities.
Yeah.
You got to deal with the venue. You got to deal with the vendors. You got to deal with the artists. You got to deal with the DJs, the lighting company. There's a lot that goes into it that people may not see, but I love every moment of it. You know what I mean?
50 artists. You had about how many vendors?
Sheesh.
I
think well over 30 vendors as well.
So you got 50 artists, 30 vendors.
Yeah.
It was about 80 different brands out there.
Yeah.
Including yours. That's epic. That take a lot right there to line it up.
You reminded me of it now. I'm kind of going back on it like, wow.
Because I was there and I'm like, yo, Orlando?
Yeah. And if it wasn't
whoever did this, man, golly.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for COVID, we would have
did it
last year. But we're planning, COVID, it set different expectations. So we're kind of trying to figure out how to go about doing it for next year. But another one is definitely coming.
And you want to keep it annually from that point on?
Yeah, annually here in Central Florida.
See, now that we already talking about music, I know on Monday nights you teamed up with the people at Millennia 3.
Shout out to Millennia 3.
You guys got the open mics.
Right.
Was that something that you want to go down because Super wasn't going down this year, or that was just something you want to start off? Or
not really. So again, we've been doing open mics for 7 years. So that tradition from open mics at Loud Hookah Lounge followed Loud Gallery Nightclub, Loud Gallery Art Gallery. It followed us everywhere we went. So a lot of times, even though we don't have the space now due to everything going on, people still wanted to be able to share their creativity, their words, So we, reached out to Millennia 3. They provided a space, and we provided the artists again with another platform for them to showcase their art, man. Because it's not about us; it's about them. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the creatives, we're all creative in our own way, but we all need that platform. And a lot of people, they tend to focus on getting people in, and not focusing on providing a platform for the artists and giving them something that they can use, that could benefit their career and their future.
Yeah, so because when I went, I'm like, man, they got some talented singers, comedians. You mixed it up. You put, music with comedy, with R&B, like, the hip-hop vibe. So it was, and I definitely see some talent out there.
They're dope. There's a lot of dope artists out there.
There's a lot of dope artists out there because I know recently you just made a big announcement. You signed, a distribution with Roc Nation?
Yeah, that's crazy, yeah. So we signed a distribution deal with EQ/Roc Nation.
Okay.
And shout out to Jarrell Carter, my man Rel.
Okay,
that's
shout out
Jay-Z
to Rel.
nephew. But he's also the head of A&R at EQ.
Okay.
He was also the head of A&R at Roc Nation. And that's when I met him. I met him 3 years ago when he did his culture tour and he bought it to Loud Gallery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we met prior to that, but business-wise, that's when the first time we conducted business together, and it went very well.
They say, yo, Moxy, watching all that talent every Monday.
Yeah.
He gonna find a diamond in the rough over there.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, that deal might just come, man. You know what it is. So you got with the whole Rock Nation thing. Is there a time limit on that? What's your goal with that? How do you want to?
As far as
you trying to look for the next biggest artist? Or you
we already have our top 5.
Okay,
right?
then so who you got over there?
I got Nadej, I got Gina Falcone.
Okay.
I got Ella Mars, I got Tris, and I got Sim.
Okay.
Right. So right now, we're working on their rollouts. Mm-hmm. So Sim just did her rollout in the month of February. The month of March and April, we're giving it to Nadej. So the way we're doing it every month. We have a new release for an artist. You know what I mean? So I can't give out too much, but I mean the rollouts are looking good. We got Times Square, Billboard, we got radio releases, we got BT, MTV. So
and this is the name of your joint is Super.
Yeah.
Okay.
The management company is the Playmakers.
Okay.
But I wanted to kind of piggyback off of what we did at the festival. Right. So Super Music kind of made sense, because we're doing super dope stuff. You know what I mean? So,
all day super dope interview right now.
It made sense to run with that. But yeah, it's Super Music.
And when can we start hearing more of you said the layouts?
Yeah, so the rollouts are there. Sim has her release that we're running right now. Nadej is releasing her EP called Honey in the month of April, but she's releasing her single in March called Rain. So we got a lot of things working, and along with doing events and managing artists, running a label, it's a lot. But then again, it's all about balance and structuring it to where it fits with your day-to-day life.
Okay, then bet. Yeah. So you really gave us a lot of knowledge on the music business. I want to switch gears real quick. My guy, you just received an award.
Yeah, that's dope.
Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. What event was that?
So it wasn't actually an event. It was with the African American Chamber of Commerce. Okay. So they're a group in Orlando, Florida that basically provides a platform for young black entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. And they have different outlets, grant writers and stuff like that. They just have a lot of stuff going on to assist you with questions or moving forward with your business, right? So I joined them last year, shout out to my mother because she's a member as well. And she said, you have to do it. This is something that will take your business to a next level. So I joined them, and AT&T were giving out contributions to upcoming businesses, startups. And they loved what we were doing with the ATM. They loved the journey. They loved the story. And they awarded us $5,000 that we don't have to pay back, just because they believed in us. I made, the mayor, the city council. So it was a very corporate event, but it was definitely a place that you want to be in, And definitely. When people talk about putting yourself in different rooms, those are the type of rooms you want to get involved, get in.
You was in the same room as the mayor of the city and all that, man. That's moves right there.
Appreciate it, man.
You feel me? That's the moves you want to see us young black entrepreneurs doing, man. Right. Black man, I love that. That looked at real classy, man. I was like, yo, I gotta go write this in my interview. This man keep making plays, yo.
Appreciate that.
So we wanna let's touch on Quickbux.
Okay.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it correctly.
All right, let's talk on that because we know that's that's probably your main
that's
thing
my main bread and butter.
That's your main bread and butter. If y'all don't know about that, my man has the ATMs.
Right.
I'm gonna let him actually speak on it because you can explain it a little better. When did you start that? What made you go into that business and what made you think I want to do this and I want to involve my kids in it when I'm doing it?
So Quickbux is a family-owned ATM business ran by myself and my 4 kids. And that was started earlier last year, a little bit prior to the pandemic. Right. And I got into it because a good friend of mine, he's been in the business for about 12 years, and his associate's been in the business for more than 15 years. So I sat with them, kind of taught me through it, did my homework behind it, seen that it was beneficial, and something that I can, do with the kids. So that gives me my balance where I can spend time with them and still work. You know what I mean? But the great thing behind it, it allows me to show them how to create generational wealth, right? And this is the realest thing. So when I did it, my associate, he told me like, hey, when you do this, make sure you don't be selfish with the knowledge that you have. And that sat in the back of my mind, like, I don't know what you meant by that, but
the money triple when you do it for people,
right,
for the people.
Yeah, and a lot of things that we do, like Loud Gallery and these events, it's for the people. So it made sense to take in that same formula that we do with all the other businesses and apply it to the ATM business. So that's what we did. We got our feet wet. We're in over 10 different locations ourselves, and
counting.
Yeah, so we created an academy to teach other people how to do it. So we have students in LA, New York, Maryland, Virginia. I mean, we got them in different states everywhere.
So you got the Quickbux. That's the course you give for the ATMs.
So Quickbux Academy is a course.
It's a course.
Quickbux is the brand. Your money when you need it is the slogan.
Okay, then how much is it for that course?
The course itself is $169. It was $199, but we brought it down. Right now, we probably have over 70 plus students.
70 plus students.
As far as students with machines, we probably have over 15 right now who physically have locations and are starting to create generational wealth as of now.
Yeah, it's definitely. How, for you, with the ATMs, how hard is it finding the locations, though?
So the location, honestly,
because I know that's really like one of the main parts.
That's what you need. The location, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's fairly easy depending on who you are. So the way you look at the ATM business, you got to treat it as another entrepreneur venture, right? So you have to depend on yourself. No one's going to get the location for you. And if they do, they're going to charge you for it. So you have to lock down the sale. You have to set up the appointment. The only thing I help you with is to show you how to do it. You know what I mean? The hardest part is not getting the location. The hardest part is starting. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know what to do to get into the business. People don't even think, like, I never even thought about owning it because our mindset is already locked in, like, that's something I can't do. I'm not even going to look in that direction.
So people didn't be like, yo, Moxy, why you doing it?
Yeah.
Yo, why you doing the ATMs? They got Zelle now. They got Cash App. They got all these things. Why would you get back the cash?
Right.
Like, I know people was in your ear trying to get you not to do it because of the way money's transferred nowadays. It's so fast, so quick. All these, bank to bank, these things. So what made you in your mind be like, nah, I'm still going to do it even though I know, the world is changing?
Right. Well, the simple answer to that is cash is king.
Right.
Cash is always king. Cash will always be around. And for those who are saying, well, they have Bitcoin. They have cryptocurrency. That's fine because the ATMs take Bitcoin as well. So regardless of where the future is going with money, right? Could be cashless, could be cash. The machine handles both.
Right.
So if you want to do cash businesses, we can do cash. You want to do Bitcoin, we accept Bitcoin as well. So there's always a lane for ATMs.
Is that your move for that too? Yo, I want cash ATMs. I want ATMs that take Bitcoin.
Right.
I want ATMs.
Well, it's the move now because all my machines take Bitcoin.
Wow.
Yeah. So all it is software. ATMs are a big computer. Right? You got some computers that are Dell. You got some that are Macs.
Right.
The gem makers that I deal with, I consider those Dells because they're more 1 and 2. You know what I mean? You don't have to go ahead and update software. You don't have to reprogram this. It's literally you buy it brand new. That's going to last you for years to come.
Yeah, and that's the wave because you buying into that.
Yeah.
You buying into that new currency and how they doing it. And so you how many? You said you have how many for yours?
Me personally, I have 10 right now.
You have 10 right now.
Yeah.
You have 70 students. How can the students find the Quickbux course?
So for them to find a course, go to quickbucksatmacademy.com. All social media platforms are all the same. So Quickbux now. You know, we do this for the people. Obviously, you know, we got our own business going, but it doesn't hurt to share the knowledge. And you know, certain people, you know, they ask me, you know, how you do this, and that's why we created the course. So for those people who don't have the funds to actually start the business, but have the funds to gain the knowledge, they'll gain the knowledge by taking the course. But the course will forever be there. So when they decide to actually take the leap of faith to start the business, then they can go ahead and pull the trigger, and I'll be right there ready to assist them.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Switch back to the art. You actually have an event coming this week.
This Saturday, yes,
This
sir.
Saturday, all black art exhibit. It's called Us.
Yes, sir.
Just talk on that real quick.
So this is an annual art show that we're doing. Me and myself and Joel are doing it. He's a local curator out here.
Shout out to you, man.
Shout out to Joel. We did it last year for the first time. I usually do my art shows by myself, but me and him partnered on the Us art show last year, and it went extremely well. We did it at Dovecote, and it's something that we're going to continue to partner up with to do annually. And again, it's just providing a platform for artists, you know, to showcase their art and actually sell. Because last year we sold a couple pieces, and this year hopefully we can sell some more for the artists.
How many artists you think about having up there at the show?
Right now we have about 7.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
And
great,
each submitted about 3 pieces, all on easels, so you'll be able to purchase from the artist directly there. Yeah.
And that's something we're trying to get going every year.
Yeah.
So you're trying to have Super every year, Art Festival every year. You're trying to have it. You're trying to have that schedule padded up for the city, man.
Not even trying. Like, we definitely.
Yeah, you're doing it.
We're doing it. So next year you will see Super. Next year you will see another Us art show. Next year you will see probably 10, 20 more ATMs from us.
For sure.
And probably 100 plus more students. So all we're doing, you know, all we were doing in year 2020 was planting seeds. You know, a lot of people panicked, and I can understand. We're dealing with a pandemic that we never came across before, you know? So, but to me, I think the real entrepreneurs thrived during the pandemic because
sure enough did too.
This is where you come in. This is where you plant your seed. This is where you get hungry because that business that you were in, when it shut down, how were you making your money?
Exactly.
So now your thought process changes. Like, oh, well, if something happens again, I can't count on this. What else? And I've been telling people, and I'm going to say it to all the cameras here, we all need multiple streams of income. Yeah.
You got
so
to.
that's not even a given, even corporate. You know, I got lawyer and attorney friends and doctors who own ATMs. All right? So I look at ATMs how you look at real estate. Everyone needs to own a piece of property.
And how much would you say an ATM goes for if somebody looking, man?
Right now, it depends. You
If
can buy
it's
them
used,
used.
if it's new.
If you could buy them used for $1,000, $1,500, $700, you could buy them brand new, $2,100, $2,350, $2,500.
Yeah.
It really depends on the model.
Right.
You know, but again, it's not like a used car. You're not buying a, you know, when you buy a car, you leave it off the lot. What happens? It depreciates instantly. ATMs don't do that. It's an asset. So if you ever feel like you need those funds, sell your machine, sell your route. Because now you establish a business, not just for the machine, but an entire, let me repeat that.
Go ahead.
An entire, you just created an entire cycle
Right.
of generational wealth.
Right.
Because it's a turnkey business at that point. Someone comes in, they want to buy your route, they could buy that, the contract, and the machine with it. You know, so
you're never really losing. You can sell it and always get back what you got
you'll
for
never
it.
lose, honestly. You know, those who lose, or I hate to use the word lose,
Right.
those who were unsuccessful with starting an ATM business probably didn't have the proper mentor or didn't have the proper team behind them.
And then now that you say mentor, who I know you know your mother was, who else was your mentor in this when it came to, you know, ATMs? Who said, yo, get into ATMs? Who'd you partner with? Who'd you watch?
Right.
Before you got into it.
Right.
Before
So
you
my
got
good,
in.
like, yeah. So my good friend, Leighton, I've known this guy since I was probably 7 years old.
Yeah.
And he's always been just like me. You know, a corporate hustler. I gotta say corporate hustler. You know what I mean? Always trying to find a means, but legally. You know, And he's been doing this for, like I said, over 12 plus years. So I kind of studied, watched him. He provided me with all the knowledge I needed. And I mean, to me, he's probably one of the most successful in that business, you know, and I'm mirroring that right now as we speak. But right now, that's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal, because remember, you know, by the time my son is 25, he's 17 now, I may have 100, you know, but by the time my son Zion goes up to college, he may have 50 on top. Right. And it just constantly grows from there, you know. So it's generational. Well, God forbid I'm not here today. It's something they can take over. The money's deposited into the account daily. So they're definitely going to be eating. Their kids will be eating, you know. So it's probably one of the best ventures I've ever done thus far.
And it just feels better because you're involving your kids with it.
Yeah, and that's, man, I'm a family man.
Would you have felt some type of way if they just like, nah, I want to play games out there? You would just let it be?
I don't know, because, you know, my kids, our relationship, those are like my best friends.
Right.
You know, so I tell them about everything, you know, like just, you know, depending, you know, obviously there's a filter, but I can talk to them about anything. How's my day? So when it came to this, it wasn't me asking them, I gifted it to them. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, do you guys want an ATM? It was more like, I got something for you. And this is something that's going to help you buy whatever you want. There's no more, Daddy, can I have this? It's more like, let me go into my account and get it myself.
PS5s and things ain't cheap.
You know, so right. So when I gifted it to them, you know, their reactions to me was priceless, because they were more excited than me. You know, so to be able to bring my son, you know, to shop, you know, to shop, and he's using his own card, is puts a smile on my face. You're saving me money, you know, but you're also teaching them about financial freedom. You know what I mean? Like,
and how to manage their money. I seen you drop one of your kids off at work.
Yeah.
Teaching them the ropes. You know what I'm
saying? So he's under my credit card right now, right? My goal is by 18 next year is to buy him his condo and not even have him live on it, because I want him to live on dorm. So I'm just going to have him rent the rooms out and build residual income from there. And right out the door, you know, he's going to leave the house with 800 credit score. You know, I already purchased a car for him. So, you know, these are things that growing up, my father couldn't tell me because he wasn't around. But my mother did.
Right.
And, you know, my mother didn't have, you know, the structure when I left, because she was still figuring out as an entrepreneur. But now she has it figured out. And I have it figured out. So what better off to share that knowledge than to provide it to your kids and show them, like, yo, when you leave this house, you're going to be set for life.
Because that's not... Yeah. A lot of people in their households don't get that type of knowledge, especially people our color, man, coming in there, leaving your house with the 800 credit
that's
score. That's big, you know, knowing that you can even be on your kid's credit card before 18.
Yeah.
And you can start off with whatever your parents have. That's a lot of knowledge that,
because people don't realize that your kids, I wouldn't suggest doing it, you know, before they're 16, but, you know, to build their credit, all you need to do is put them as an authorized user.
That's what I was,
That's it. Like, legitimately, that's all you have to do. They're not going to, you know, it's not going to look like they have, you know, flawless credit, you know what I mean? But it's going to help them.
It's a big jump start.
Yes.
'Cause
out the door.
I didn't know about credit.
Yeah,
you know.
out the door. So these are things that, you know, us as, you know, young black entrepreneurs and creatives, we must share, and we must work together to figure out, okay, well, how could we take the necessary steps to break the generational curse?
And it's going they got to start with somebody, you feel me?
And there's people doing it prior to me, and there's other people out here doing it as well, you know? And that's why I don't really do a lot of interviews, because I'm a very private guy, you know what I mean? But like, for something like this, you know, I feel like it's that time for people to know that it's possible. I mean, anything is possible. You're
giving real hope. You really changing people's lives with the moves, with the mentality with the message you putting out. And when it gets to that level, when you're starting to do it for others and you're not thinking about your own personal gain, that feeling is priceless.
Right,
you feel me? It's priceless. And that's why I'm like, yo, man, when I see you gave those people, I met vendors at your festival that I never saw before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I seen artists that I never saw before. I didn't even know I can get into trying to buy an ATM until I saw your feed.
Right.
So now that I'm seeing that and you putting it all together, man, you're doing really
I appreciate it.
good, man. Keep it up, man. The art. Hopefully I could buy some art. I am getting the ATM. I will be a student.
Love,
you know what I'm saying? I
appreciate
will be
that.
spending that 169. Y'all, if y'all want some generational wealth, you're not making money until you sleep.
Yeah. That's the realest thing. You're not really
I know
making
you've seen
money
that, and I know you
yeah.
feel that one, man. So because that's what you're pushing right now. You making money while you sleep.
Yeah. I'm making money right now while we're doing the interview. You know,
exactly.
Yeah. So it's definitely. I just wish I knew about this years ago. It's one of those. It's like if I knew, like if I knew the market was gonna boom like this, I would have bought up all the property back then. So I'm glad I'm in it now. I'm glad I'm able to assist with people like yourself to get involved because, it is passive. So I don't want people to think that you're going to, get two machines and you're going to be driving a Lamborghini.
Nah.
But it is.
It accumulates.
Come on, touch me. Yeah,
it accumulates, man. It's all about the journey, man. You got to get it to the point where, hey, it's taking care of itself, which it is right now. So
you get a few machines, let it take care of your car note. A few machines, let it take care of your mortgage. That's how you do it. So anything else you're doing on your side, that's your spend money. That's your play money. Yeah.
Man, Moxy, my guy, man, you did it, man. You talked about everything. You touched on everything. Is there anything you want to put out there to the fans before we get off?
I just want to say shout out to y'all. Shout out to all the entrepreneurs out there. If you're chasing a dream, continue to chase it. Continue to take risks, and don't be scared to fail. You got to fail multiple times before you get the big W, Check us out at quickbucksnow.com. Check out the label, superxmusic.com.
Keep plugging.
Check in loudgallery.com.
All of them. Tap in on all of them. They all got their own page. Wait a minute. One more. Is there no so or something that I missed?
So that's crazy. I don't know how you caught that.
I caught it at the end. Let's talk about that one more time. Let's get that out the way.
So, No So Wallet, that was started around 7 years ago as well. Mm-hmm. And that's me being a young entrepreneur trying to create a product itself to hit the shelves, you know what I mean? And I did it with bicycle inner tubes. I started it on Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. If you're watching this, check out Kickstarter.com. It is a hub for creatives to sell their product before actually having it in stock. So they allow you to showcase your prototype with visuals, marketing materials.
To get the feedback.
To get people not only to invest, but they're going to pre-order. So they're not investing and getting shares. They're investing into your future product. Right. So that's what I did with No So. We reached our goal within 30 days. We were featured on Fox News. I was also featured on a site where they put up a sale for 5 days, and we sold 300 plus units within 5 days. Beautiful. Dubai, China. So it's definitely one of my ventures that I started years ago, and nothing went bad. That's the funny thing.
It's just on the low. It's over there.
It just is doing what it does. Right. We're going to be launching it with pineapple fiber, which is a different form of leather made out of pineapple fiber. So it's a vegan wallet, black owned, and
when could we be expecting that one?
So right now, probably fall 2021. We're still working on the kinks of the prototype, but let it be known, when we do this, it's going to be like everything else. We're going to disrupt the market. We're going to take over a category of wallets that people overlook, but we're going to make it a thing to where people are definitely buying it from us first.
Man, boy, you killing it, boy, man. I love it, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Moxy, man, it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Love.
You broke down a lot. You gave a lot of gems out, man. It was a pleasure having you. E.T.,
appreciate it.
We doing it.
The man behind the cam.
That's the man behind the camera, you feel me? But Moxy, it was a pleasure. We got a pleasure dope. We hit the fourth quarter audible, man. We ended up at this location.
Yes, sir.
Moxy put the play on us, man, and it turned
I
out for
was
the
wearing
better.
a whole hoodie.
Yeah,
he said we shooting outside. I said, man, it's 80 degrees. I caught, you know what it is? I caught the cold yesterday. I was like, all right, this is the perfect time to put on the hoodie. Walked outside, it was 80 degrees. I'm like, oh my God, man.
Yeah, we switched it up, but it worked out, man. But it was a pleasure having you on the show. It's all about the journey.
Yes, sir.
Moxy, we in there.
Love, man. Shout out All About the Journey podcast.
Straight entrepreneurs, man.
Super dope. Check him out. I love what he's doing. Support his brand. Support the podcast. Shout out ET on the back of the cam. He's also a DJ too. So if you need booking, holla at him.
Yeah, all that.
And if you guys are looking for a mentor as well, let me know. I'm definitely willing to help anybody out there looking to, start their entrepreneur journey, man.
Man, you one of mine already, bro.
Appreciate that love.
Sure,
that's
man.
love.
But it's all love. It's all about the journey. Let's get it.
Yes, sir.